guys. Welcome back to Harsh-Hearted Tenderhearted. First of all, we celebrated a birthday.
Our birthday.
This birthday. Happy birthday, Harsh-Hearted.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
Kind of crazy.
I think as of last Monday. Like the
Yeah.
Monday that just would have passed.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. It doesn't feel like a year. It feels like a lot less.
I know.
I think it's because we have less than 52 videos. And there's 52 videos weeks in a year.
That's true. That's true.
Because our schedule, we used to do every 2 weeks. And now we do every week.
Yes. Today we're talking cutting people off.
Yeah. Some things have happened. Ooh, should I go into like full story from the start, from the beginning?
Yeah, like I had some friends.
Yeah, so I had some friends.
Okay, wait, actually, I have a good... Okay, so remember when we did Truth or Drink?
Yes.
And there was 2 friends that I had just met.
Oh, yes.
And they only made it onto the second list. These are those friends.
Yes. And it's weird because I've been friends with these 2 people since high school. So we've been friends for like over 5 years, around there. And it's very weird. We just started hanging out like last year, like regularly last year. Probably coming up like a year. And I don't even know. It's kind of weird. So this friend, we need to give her an alias.
That's true. I think
it'd be easier.
Yeah.
I can't start
Car
with this.
girl.
That is so funny.
Oh
my god. Okay, you know what? We're calling her Carly. So, me and Carly, we were friends in high school. Cool. There's another third. It was kind of a bit of a trio situation going on here. We'll call the other girl. Can we call her Annie? Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, so me and Carly were friends in high school. Cool. It was a bit of a trio situation. We were like acquaintances. We were friends. Like we'd message each other, whatever. We didn't really hang out as much until like starting last year. And Carly has been dating this guy for almost like a decade. And the way that their relationship is that they met each other because they live across the street from each other. And her boyfriend, has a brother.
Should they have aliases too?
I'm thinking so, yes. I don't know about the boyfriend. We could just call him the boyfriend.
Is Charizard too much?
We just call him the boyfriend.
I think should be Oliver.
Oliver?
Like
okay.
Oliver Twist.
So the friend group was Carly, Annie, Carly's boyfriend, who will give the name Paul, and then his brother, who is Oliver. These are all aliases. And this is all alleged.
Literally.
This is all alleged. So that was the friend group, and I was kind of brought into the fold. So the group of 4 became a group of 5, just because it's like they were always together, whatever. Like if I wanted to hang out with Carly, then I had to hang out with like everybody else.
Yeah.
So like it was one of those like package deal friend groups, which is like weird, but whatever. The brother and I ended up becoming friends, but then it was also like I think that he has a crush on me, but I don't know. And then it's like
Oliver.
Oliver. It became like this whole big thing. It was Annie's birthday at the beginning of the year, closer to the beginning of the year, and we went clubbing. And you know when you go clubbing with your friends, you're dancing with your friends, cool, whatever. And the whole night it was like Oliver was dancing with everybody else in the friend group. He was dancing with me the same way that he was dancing with everybody else in the friend group. So really, I didn't think anything of it. Like I didn't think anything of it because I was like, okay, like he's treating me like a friend. Cool. The next morning I wake up to a text message from Carly. She was like, hey, can we talk? Like, I just would want to ask you to like not feed into this guy's, to Oliver's flirting. Like he does this with everybody. He always flirts with my friends. Like, and I don't want it to mess up our friendship. And I'm sitting there like, I didn't think he was flirting until you texted me right now, because he was dancing with like you guys the same way he was dancing with me. And that's really like that's the extent of like our interactions that night. Mm-hmm. So it's like I didn't really like think he was flirting, but I was like, you know what, you know him better than I do, so it's like if you say he's flirting, whatever. Like I didn't mean to feed into it. And she's like, I just value our friendship. I don't want him ruining it like that. Like I don't want to make things awkward. I just want us to all be chill and all be friends. Like I don't want to ruin your night. So I just like decided to wait before I said this. And she's like profusely apologizing to me, and it was kind of chill for a little bit.
And keep in mind, these are friends that she saw weekly, at least once a week. Like,
yeah,
this
like
whole
they knew
group.
me well enough. A couple months later, like maybe like 2 months later, one of their friends was coming down from, like one of their friends from out of town was visiting. and they were gonna go do a bunch of these stuff, and the brother messages me, and he's like, hey, like one of our friends is coming down from wherever he's from, and we're doing a whole bunch of stuff, like you should come, like I want you to come, cool, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm down. One of the things that they were going to do was they're going to Niagara Falls, and then that was kind of the end of the conversation. I didn't hear anything much of it like in the weeks leading up to it, so I was like, okay, like I guess like I'm not really wanted there, because it's, and I didn't think much of it because I'm like, I don't really know this person anyways. And it's like the whole friend group, like I'm friends with them, but I'm not like that close enough for me to be offended if I wasn't invited to these things. And then I was like, okay, like I guess whatever. Because I'm sure that I would have heard if I was like really wanted there, that Carly and Annie would have like invited me, like reached out and been like, hey, like I want you to come too. Especially since I met the brother through Carly. But then whatever, weeks go by, I didn't hear anything of it, and I'm like, okay, cool, like just going on about life. And then the brother messages me on like a Friday afternoon and is like, hey, like are you coming with us to Niagara Falls? And I was like, I don't know, like what time are you guys going? And then I go into the group chat with Carly and Annie, and I'm like, hey, like trying to ask what the plan is or whatever, but I'm also trying to tread lightly because it's like I still wasn't invited by Carly. I'm like, hey, like what's going on? And then she responds and she's like, who invited you?
Which is crazy coming from somebody who said like, I don't want to ruin our friendship.
Yeah, I think it's weird because it's like she says she don't want to make things weird, but she made things weird.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like I was just trying to not step on anybody's toes, but it's whatever. And then Annie had no idea at all that I was like, she did not care. She was like, oh my god, yeah, like I'm going to, and I'm working until this time. Like I'm so excited to come. Like I'm excited to see you later and stuff like that. But then Carly, she kind of left me on red for like 10 minutes straight. And then I was like, okay, like she obviously doesn't want me there. She's asking like who invited you. Like there was no conversation on their end about whether or not I was like, if I could come or whatever, like what's invited. And I was like already drafting up a message where I was like, hey, like it's okay if like I'm not invited, like it's cool, it's whatever, like I get it. But then before I could even send it, she sent she got back to me. She sent like this long novelesque message that was like, hey Kaira, I'm so sorry, but like we just wanted it to be a small group of us, like, and keep in mind this, like their friend group, so it's like the four of them, and then like the four of them have like their friends, which is like they consider like a big friend group, so they're really like it's a big group of 15. Carly's going on and she's like, yeah, we were just gonna take the sister's car, and like she's listing off the people who is going in this car, and instantly I clocked that it's like, okay, not everybody's fitting in this car, you're bringing two people anyway, so your lie's bad, first of all. She's like, we just wanted to be a small group of people. Like, Oliver shouldn't have invited you without asking me if he can invite you first. Like, this, and this. And I was like, hey, listen, it's fine. They went to Niagara Falls without me. It was cool. I was kind of, like, sad about it because I was like, nobody likes feeling left out. But I understood where she was coming from because it's like, again, I don't even know this person. I didn't meet him until, like, the next day. Like, the friend that was coming down. But this whole sort thing that kind of made it most weird was that she was so up in arms about like, I don't know why Oliver's talking to my friends, like you're my friend, like it was very kind of like possessive, which was weird. And then she was like, he always gets mad whenever I talk to his friends, but I thought it was weird because it's like they're all one friend group and they all see each other every week,
right.
So it's like kind of odd to me. After that whole thing, the next weekend we went out. So it was my other friend from like one of my other friends' birthday, and we all went to this
like separate friend
group. It was my friend Julia's birthday, and so we're going to this place. We're going to like this club bar sort situation. Very popular in our city, cool. And then Carly and her friends ended up going there too the same night. Ended up running into them and seeing them, whatever. So like I'm kind of splitting my time in between them, not completely though, because I'm there for my friend's birthday,
which is a little bit crazy. Yeah,
I'm there for my friend's birthday, but it's like
that it wasn't even just a hey, how are you?
Yeah, no, like I'm there for my friend's birthday, so most of the night I'm there, but then it's like if I'm going to the bathroom, like I'd like run into them, like I'd see them, so I'd like stop and talk to them like every time that I would go see them, whatever. But then everybody kind of wanted to go home, like from Julia's birthday party. Carly was like, how are you getting home? Like, do you want us to drive you or whatever? And at that point I was like, sure, I'm already here, we'll hang out with you guys. So then I ended up staying longer. And Carly was like, let's go to the bathroom. And I was like, we had just got there, like just joined the group. My friends just left. And she's like, let's go to the bathroom. So she drags me and Annie to the bathroom. And then as soon as we get to the bathroom, she's like, I'm so annoyed. And we were like, why are you annoyed? And a girl was talking to Paul, and Paul wasn't like automatically shooting it down. And she was like, oh my God, like I can't believe
Dead.
Yeah. And she's like, if I did that and I didn't shoot it down, like he'd be like fighting, whatever.
No, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, she'd be like, it'd be a problem if that happened to me, but like she's annoyed. And then she's like, also like Oliver's not talking to me. And then she's looking at me. She's like significantly taller than me. So she's like looking over at me. She's like towering over me as she says this. And I was like, why? And then because I didn't hear about anything, like I thought they were fine. I thought they were talking all night, whatever. And then she's like, because I brought you up. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, that's weird. And she's like, no, I know, like he hasn't talked to me all week. And then I was like, that is very weird. I don't know why he's doing that. Like, and I apologize because I'm like, I don't ever want to be a point of conflict in this relationship. And I was already like kind of soft ghosting myself, like quietly removing myself, like distancing myself from the situation. So I was like, this is not good. I was like, I can see a storm brewing. Things were fine the rest of the night. I didn't think much of it. And then I did notice that they were not talking to each other though. And then we're leaving. And they came in like separate cars so that everybody's going to the car that they went to. And they're driving me home because it's like we live close to each other. And they wanted to go to McDonald's anyways, which is also by my house. I go home. I have my McDonald's. I'm sitting drunk in bed. I wake up the next morning. And I have a text message. And it says... From Carly. And it says... Hi, Kaira. I just needed to talk to you because I'm hurt about this conversation I just had with Oliver. Me and him are close. Of course, we're going to work things out. I don't appreciate you lying to me. I don't need to have friends who cause issues between me and my closest people. Oliver and I will fight, but we'll always solve it every time. We always have conversations in a mature sense, and it was about to come out about things that you said regardless. I really don't appreciate being lied to. Something like this situation and me thinking that we're close friends or becoming close friends is a brutal feeling. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to bring this to light. I'm sorry to bring light upon this issue again, but it needs to be said. And I'm sitting there. And I'm like so confused because I don't know what I lied about.
Yeah, I need to know what Oliver said.
I don't know what I lied about because like nothing happened between us. Nothing was going on between us at any point. And that's what she asked me about. And that's like the only like definitive like question she asked me and what I answered that could have been taken as a lie.
Right.
But it wasn't a lie because nothing was happening.
Right.
So I was kind of confused about
that was the only thing you could have lied about.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was confused about that. And it's like, as far as getting involved goes, I didn't even like, I wasn't like meddling. I didn't like meddle or anything. The only thing that could possibly be seen as meddling was me being like, hey, I don't want to be a conflict. Like, I don't want to be a point of conflict. And that's pretty much like.
She brought it up every time.
Pardon?
She brought it up every time.
Yeah, she brought it up every time.
Like, I don't, like every time you've said something like that, it was a response.
Yeah. The only sort of thing that I did that could be seen as meddling was telling them that maybe they should talk things out.
Right.
That was the only thing, and that wasn't really meddling because I was like, I don't want to ever be the reason why you guys are on bad terms. And then I said that to both of them independently, and they did both get defensive about it, which was a little odd.
Right.
In my opinion, but whatever. So I'm sitting there confused because I'm like, what did I lie about? I didn't lie about anything. Like, nothing bad happened. Like, nothing happened between us. To which I said, hey, like, I know you guys are close, so obviously you're going to work it out. Because, like, you've been friends for how long?
Yeah.
Like, you've been, like, quote unquote, like, siblings.
Yeah.
For, like, 15 years of your life.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So it's, like,
most of his life.
Most of his life. Yeah, so, like, obviously you guys are going to be, like, okay. Like, you're going to talk things through. It's whatever. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry for any actions that I might have done that, like, makes you feel, like, not makes you feel, I hate saying, like, makes you feel like,
it's kind of gaslighting.
Yeah. I don't like saying that, like, and I try not to, but it's, like.
I feel like it depends how you word it.
Yeah. Like, I don't ever want to be, like, I made you feel like that, like, you know? Because it's, like,
I would say
it kind of invalidates.
You can't apologize, or you can't, like, apologize for making somebody feel inferior because they feel like that's gaslighting. But when you apologize for making somebody feel a way that they've stated, like they've articulated.
Yeah.
Because she articulated it first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't put that idea in her head.
Yeah. Like, Yeah, I don't like saying that. I
So
really
it's
try to
like
avoid
gaslighting.
because we talked about before. I used to be a former gaslighter with my ex-boyfriend, and like I had to put in the work for that, and I realized that like, oh my god, like that is gaslighting, and I really didn't think it was gaslighting at the time, but now I do. So now I try to avoid it because I don't want gaslighter
I'm like
allegations.
That too. Yeah, no, I'm like that too.
I don't want gaslighter allegations. Okay.
Like when you're like a retired gaslighter, you become very careful of what you say in times of like conflict.
Yeah.
Like you become like, oh my god, especially when you're being accused of doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I'm very careful. I said, I'm sorry for any actions that I may have done that led to a feeling of betrayal. I never lied to you though, and I don't know what you're referring to because I do not know what she was referring to. And I was like, again, your business with him, with Oliver, has nothing to do with me. Like I don't appreciate the questioning of my character or the care I have for you as a friend, or the insinuation that I was malicious enough to want to cause problems, because the way that she worded it, it was like, I don't want friends who cause who like come in and cause chaos.
Yeah.
It's like, that wasn't, I was trying not to cause chaos. Like that was the opposite of what I was trying to do. I wasn't even trying to do anything. I was just trying to live. And I'm glad you guys work out your problems the way that's good for you, but it wouldn't have gotten to this point had there been an open line of communication between you two in the first place. As mentioned before, I was already trying to like quietly remove myself, and I've been drafting up this message for like a week or two before this even happened. We actually talked about it.
Yeah.
After we filmed an episode once, but I was like, hey, like I think we're on different paths right now, but that's okay. Like basically being like, I need to take a step back from this. Mm-hmm. Friendship relationship, which is okay to do.
Yeah.
But then she replied with, I appreciate the apologies, and I'm sorry that I'm sorry you're in between this, but at the same time, it wouldn't have been down this path if you didn't feel the need to make Oliver your top friend in this group. Which was crazy to me because it's like,
top friend is crazy.
Top friend is crazy.
Top friend is absolutely wild.
That is wild too. That's crazy to me.
Like, what the fuck?
Top friend. We're gonna get into this actually because she continues and she says,
over the age of 12, top friend is crazy.
Yeah. And she's like, the way that me and Oliver deal with our communication is between us and only us. I don't understand why it felt like you were trying to get close to Oliver through us rather than trying to be friends with everybody and not just specifically him, which is not true, first of all. Because I was out there trying to make friends with everybody. These are Carly's people, you know what? They're important to her. Like, if I'm hanging out with her, like I'm hanging out with them, I want to be on good terms with everybody. So it's like
trying to make a good impression.
I'm trying to be friends with everybody. It's not like I was just trying to be friends with Oliver, because that's like, I was trying to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I was invited to, like, one of their cousins' birthday, like, trips.
Right.
You know, like, they wouldn't have invited me out if, like, they didn't feel like we were friends enough to do that, you know? And, like, I don't know. I just thought it was so weird. Like, I considered them, like, my friends, but I guess not. Okay.
Kai was just excited to be there.
I really was just excited to be there. It's like, I was just glad to have, like, a friend group. Like, that sounds sad. I have friends. But, like, to be included.
I think a lot of it was, too, though, that you had expressed before even you had kind of gotten close. Before you had even gotten close to Carly and Annie, that your friend group was kind of drifting.
Yeah, so I think I was kind of latching onto that because I was like, I want friends. Like, I need friends. I have friends.
It felt like a belonging.
Yeah. So I was just happy to be there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make friends with people. Cool. Like, and then, like, some of the...
Like, they're early 20s, right? Like, they're 23 oldest in that group. 24. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like... I just want to be friends with everybody. Yeah, I was just trying to be friends with everybody. Okay, it's not. I wasn't singling anybody out. To which I responded respectfully. I was never trying to make anybody in this friend group my top friend group, and the fact that it's like that there'd be a favorite in any friend group, and the idea that it's like my friend versus his friend is crazy to me, because it is crazy objectively. And it's like throughout this whole thing, it was like he shouldn't be talking to my friends, like my friend, you're my friend, and it's like. I don't know. I felt like very much like a possession. Mm-hmm. Like it's like I felt like my agency and like my autonomy and my choice to like make friends with who I want to make friends with is just like it was just completely disregarded.
Right.
And it's like kind of like controlling, and
it's like dehumanizing. Literally.
Yeah, it was very dehumanizing. I felt that's. Ooh, I want to throw up. I'm feeling a little nauseous. Yeah, it very much felt like that. I did not like it, and that was one of like the kind of the turning points where I was like, okay, I think I need to take a step back from this friend group. Mm-hmm. Because when it's like, I don't need that. Right. I don't need to have somebody telling me what I can and can't do. And I was like, I apologize that you felt as though I was trying to get close to him through you, but I was nuts. That was never a thought in my mind. And again, I said, and again, honestly, I'm offended that you would think that of me because it's offensive. It is offensive. It's so offensive. The fact that you think that I was malicious and like cunning enough to like be like, I really want this guy. I'm gonna like get close to them. And it's like I'm plotting away in like this little evil cave about how to like make this guy like me. First of all, I'd never go that far to get a guy to like me.
Right.
Second of all, it's like I'm not like that. Like by nature, I'm just not like that.
Right.
And it's crazy to me that somebody who claims to like be my friend and wanted to be my.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Summer.
It's like I'm getting out of here.
No, but it was like I think out of everything, I'm most hurt by that.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like my character was questioned like who I am at my core. Like I care about everybody. It's like it's just I would never do that.
And you would have known that. You would have trusted that if you were as close as she was saying you guys were.
And I was like, I'm not going back and forth with you because this is counterproductive. It's becoming counterproductive. But you should know that I sincerely wish you the best in everything. And I hope you continue to reevaluate your interpersonal relationships because despite the situations you may find yourself in, you're a really great girl. And she is a really great girl. Like you can see it sometimes. But
take care.
Yeah, no, literally. And I was like, I hope you can see. I was like, you deserve better than the cards that you've been dealt, and I hope you can see that and know like I'll still hold space for you if you ever need someone. And that was it. And she already RDR'd me, and that was it. And then I was removed from the group chat, and that was that. So cutting friends off. I don't even know.
So I met these girls. Okay, so here's my take. I met these girls when we went out to a club for our cousin's birthday. Yes, Audrey's birthday. And we had a booth that was won through like this birthday package thing. I don't even fucking know. But we had 10 entries or something like that included. So we were like, okay, cool. Like let's
find people to come.
Yeah. And then if people can't come, like we have our group. So we go and they were coming later on in the night. First of all, there was drama with that anyway, like whether they were coming or they weren't coming. They ended up coming later on.
Yeah, like midnight.
Yeah.
Around there, yeah.
And that was the first time that I had met any of these people. I've heard a lot about them before that, but that's the first time I had met any of them. And I had said to Kai the next day, she asked me what I thought about them. And I was like, you can see that they're like nice girls trying their best and like what they want for themselves, I think, and from other people is like pure, like good, but like their intentions are good, but they have so much growing to do, like so much. And it was just even like the way that you could watch them like interact, like it was, I don't know, it was weird. You could tell that they had a lot of growing to do, but they are very nice girls. And I personally have always kind of thought Paul was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. I didn't start seeing it until, like, after the club thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm seeing it firsthand. I don't like this.
Even from what I heard about him before, like, I thought he was a piece of shit before I met him. He, again, was very reminiscent of Lady Cop, which was super triggering for me and very just, like... Which, also, I didn't even know if it tainted my view of Carly a little bit because I empathized with her a lot before I even met her. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until kind of her responses and reactions and stuff like that. Like, there have been times with Lady Cop that were very similar with, like, kind of drama in that friend group that was caused by Lady Cop. But there was never a time that I wasn't going to bark back at her in front of everybody to protect my friends. I met Oliver that night, too. Piece of shit. I don't.
Which is crazy to me because you openly said that to Carly and she agreed.
I know.
She was like, no, I know.
Later on in the night. Yeah. And I didn't like him for my own reasons. I actually didn't really have that much of an opinion on him before I met him because he's 19. Is he 20?
He's 20.
Okay. But like he was like, I was just in my head, he was just the 19-year-old that tags along, you know, that has a crush on Kai, whatever. I don't really care. So he was brought along because he's the brother. And he is just, I can't tell if he's so unbelievably coddled that he has no regard for anybody else in the room or if he's just like.
He is very coddled.
Okay, true.
Very, very coddled. Especially by Carly.
It shows, right?
And she always complains about what she does for him and how he never appreciates him. And I'm like, okay, then stop doing things for him.
Right, right. And he is there, first of all, like very under the radar. Like I'm like, whatever. Like we welcome them into our booth. They are more than welcome to have what's in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, oh, they're not our friends, or oh, I don't know them, or oh, like they came late, they can't have this alcohol that we paid for. Like, no, like it's not like that at all. But it's like, don't be rude to me while you're in my booth.
Yeah.
That's the kicker. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fucking rude to me when you're standing in my fucking booth, bro. And he was like, there was at one point where he was like, whose birthday is it? Because he knew we were celebrating a birthday. And I said it was Audrey's, and he asked how old or whatever, and I was like 29. And he made a comment about her being old. And when it was partially resolved, he said it was a joke. But I just want to say, this kid was like, something about like, oh my God, you're fucking old, or something like that. And the look on his face was the look on a face when you give like kids spinach for the first time. Like a 4-year-old spinach, okay? It wasn't a joke. You can't read a room. You know, like you're speaking to your two elder females that have this booth that let you come in here, okay? And you're 19 years old. You don't know any of us. Shut your mouth, okay? Shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, then we're sitting there, and I'm sitting beside Audrey on the couch, and there's a bottle. I don't remember. I think it was Ciroc or something, but it's in the bucket on the table, and they came so late that the bottle was empty. Right? Not my problem. If you were here at the time that it was full, I would have poured you a shot. So they show up at 12 o'clock, and he taps my shoulder and lifts the bottle so it comes up and it drops back down. He says, it's empty. Oh. It was over from there. I'm like, you're done. You are done.
She tells the story and I get embarrassed. Like, I get embarrassed.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I do. I actually get embarrassed.
God.
Especially since I invited them.
Okay, fair.
You know
fair.
what? That's
but,
why
like,
I'm embarrassed.
He was the tag along.
Yeah.
I don't even like, you know, like I think if Carly and Annie were acting up like that, I would have been like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But that's like, you invited your two friends that brought along 2 other people.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, whatever, like that pissed me off. And then our bartender's bringing us the champagne.
Like, I feel shame when the story comes.
No, I can't. The bartender's bringing us champagne, the birthday champagne, and she hands it to me because, like, usually when we go out, we have booths and stuff. Like, it's just, I'm the one that's, like, talking to the bartender, like, getting our booth, ordering our stuff. So, she brings it to me, and I hold it, and we're getting cups, and I'm trying to pass Audrey a cup because it's her birthday champagne, right?
And Audrey's the first pour.
Yeah, she's kind of out of it. So I'm trying to hand her a cup so I can pour her drink, right? And Oliver has already grabbed himself a cup. He has not passed out any cups. He has just grabbed himself a cup and has come up to the booth. And as I'm trying to give Audrey a cup and pour her a drink, he's tapping the top of the champagne bottle with his fucking cup. And then I'm like, okay, no, you're really, really, really done. Like, you're really done. So by the time we go outside, I'm already so done with this man. I'm so done with this man. So then, like, we're talking or whatever, and I'm trying to sit down, and he's, like, doing his little stretch. Like, this kid is just looking for attention. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he, like, starts, like, whining about how he had a basketball game. And the thing is, though, is that, like, Carly was there. She wanted to stay. At one point, Paul wanted to go home. Like, you guys want to go home? Go the fuck home. Nobody is forcing you to be here. And now they're complaining. They're whining. They're sore. They just had a basketball game. The girls wanted to come, whatever. And I'm like, bro, go the fuck. Like,
it's also like they didn't have to come with the girls.
No.
Yeah.
That was like, it's like, what are you talking about? You're complaining because you put yourself in this situation? That sucks. Like,
they do that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, like, Paul was, it's another, like, time when we were hanging out. Like, it was just after, like, one of their semifinals or whatever they won. They wanted to go celebrate. He wanted to go home because he had work in the morning. And then they were like, we'll drive you, whatever. Like, we'll drop you off at home. Like, they were offering solutions. And he was like, no, because then it's like, then Carly's not going to come home with me, like, this, and this. And it became this whole thing where literally I was so annoyed because I was like, okay, what are we doing? Yeah. First of all. And I was like, okay, like, you can either come with us and you not complain. Oh, wait, no. I was like, okay, you can either go home and then you're home like you want to be, or you can come with us, but don't complain because you're going to ruin everybody's night. And then everybody was like, oh. And I was like, it's not an owing offense. Like, it's literally just like, has nobody ever, like, spoken to this guy before? Yeah. Like, I'm so confused because I was like, I'm very used to, like, people being like that. Like, you're like that with, like.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, this is what it is. Like, it's like. I don't know. Maybe it's the people I'm around, but
I think it is. I think it is because the coddle, like you can tell.
Yeah.
They've been coddled. You know what I'm saying? Like above all of their struggles, there were people in their life that coddled them. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I was coddled, but I wasn't coddled to that extent. Where it's like
I think you were shielded, not
I was
coddled.
yeah, okay, fair. I was shielded, but not coddled. And it's like if I was in that position where I'm going, like I have work early the next morning, it's like I'm not gonna make it everybody's problem.
Yeah, go or don't.
Yeah. It's like
no, exactly.
You're a grown man. Like, come on now.
Exactly. Like, right? So like why and he just kept going. So that
and then they get offended that I'm like that, but it's like what, you want him complaining the whole time?
I know, right?
Like I know I'm the bad guy for trying to make sure that everybody has a good night.
My bad for being real, guys. My bad. No, I can't. But yeah, so he just kept going and going, and I was already fucking pissed off. So I start barking, and I'm like, rah, 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 rah. And then it gets into this whole thing. So then Carly comes over, and I say to her, I'm like, listen, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is what happened all night, and that's why I'm fucking upset with him. And she goes, she's like, oh my God, yeah, no, I know, right? Like, he's such a dick. Like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
And then her and Annie are like, rah.
No,
and
whenever I'm like barking at them, 'cause I've never barked. I'm not a barker. Listen, I'm not a barker at all. You know, like, now she's been trying to teach me how to bark. I don't bark.
Yeah.
She's don't like, bark. Woof. Yeah, I hardly growl.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't do that. Yeah. I have never had to bark more than I ever had to bark in this friend group.
Right.
Like, to the point where I started believing I was like I had to convince myself I'm not a bitch because I'm barking.
Right. Yeah, right? That's the hardest part of it.
Like, and that's also a contributing factor why I was like, I need to step back from this friend group.
I know.
I'm feeling myself change, but not for the better. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad to bark. You know, sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. But it became like such a fast move at such like
you were becoming hard.
Yeah, I was coming hard. I don't ever want to be hard. So
So I don't really like either of them. The hard part is Oliver 100% likes Kai.
I really genuinely I didn't think he did. Like I had an inkling that I was like, okay, maybe, but then he flat out told me like, okay, listen, hindsight is 2020. But like he was like, I don't think that, like, I don't think of you like that, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's what he told me.
Right.
But then I was like, I was actually thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, okay, how many times have I said something that, like, I don't actually mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if I want somebody to stay around me no matter what, I'm going to tell them.
You're going to say what they want to hear. So I was like, okay, like, was I wrong for keeping talking to him? Yeah. Did I mean to lead him on? No, I did not mean to lead him on. Like, I actually feel really bad about that, because it's like, I would never intentionally play with anybody's feelings like that.
Right.
You know,
like, the intentions weren't there to be malicious. Yeah.
And did it end up working out that way? Like, kind of. So I can see where she's upset and, like, where he is coming from. But it's like,
I still can't see where she's coming from, but I can see where he's coming from.
Oh, I can see where she's coming from. I'm not saying that it's not messed up, because it is messed up.
Right.
But, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that that's why there was even so much, like, drama between the two of them, because it's like, I can see where she's coming from in the sense of, like, you guys don't really know each other.
Yeah.
But on his part. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why are you being so defensive about a girl that you don't know?
Yeah.
Unless you're physically attracted to her, why are you being so defensive about a girl that you don't know?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second. And, like we said, like, it's obvious, very, very, very obviously happened in the relationship before Kai even entered the picture.
Actually, there was this one girl that was around who was friends with the girlfriend that I brought up a couple times. She was around, and he had a crush on her, and then they, like, disliked her, like, literally, like, obliterated her before I even met her. Like, granted, she wasn't the nicest girl, because I did meet her, and I was able to form my own opinion on her. Mm-hmm. Like, she wasn't the nicest, but it's like,
you didn't have to flame her that hard.
Yeah, you didn't have to flame her that hard just because he liked her. Like, it's and she ended up not hanging around anymore. She stopped coming around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they told me, like, the tea, they were like, she said, like, hey, like, I don't want to be around you guys anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Was that a red flag? Maybe.
That's crazy.
Was that a sign? Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's just such a messed up situation. But regardless, like, it didn't give, honestly, I've said before, like, how protective I am of people in my circle, and I'm telling you right now, Carly, you know exactly who you are, and if we ever cross paths again,
oh my god,
oh my, like,
No, the thing I'm really most upset about, like, regardless of anything, is her coming for my character.
No, I know.
And thinking
I know.
I'm, like, that like, I don't think I'll be able to get over that. And it's also, like, I don't know what I lied about.
Right.
It's like, one, you're
right.
calling me a liar. Two, you didn't even
okay,
talk to me. You didn't
that's
even
what I was gonna
ask me.
say.
You didn't even want to clarify with me before coming and saying that I'm a liar.
Right. Right.
And two, you're thinking I'm malicious enough to be a liar and that I'm using you out of all things.
Right.
It's like, that's crazy to me. Because, one, I guess you didn't know me at all. And it's like, you're just, like, taking the word of all these people. Like, I don't know.
Right. Right. And I understand, like, kind of taking, like, your family's word. Like,
I
if
get
Kai,
that, yeah.
If Kai told me somebody said something,
I'm more
I wouldn't
inclined
have
to believe.
fucking-
Yeah, I'd believe
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. I wouldn't even have to ask them. Like,
Yeah.
they are done, you know? But, like, I'm also usually not friends with those people.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, there's not a friendship involved. Like, I feel like that would be
It's
different.
a pretty long-standing friendship.
Yeah.
That's
like
5 years of my life.
Exactly. That would be a little bit different. And
Actually, like, 9 years of my life, because, like, they've been dating for 9 years and I met them before they even started dating.
that's true.
So it's like,
That's
we've been
true.
acquaintances for, like, what, 4 years? Actual friends for 5? Like, it's actually close friends for, like, a year. Like, it's pretty, like, we've been friends.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's weird. And I think it's hard because, like, as much as, like, I want to know what Oliver said, and as much as I don't like him, I think that if he did say that, like, oh, like, maybe there was something going on, or, oh, like, I do like her, whatever, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, I don't think that he was lying.
Yeah, like, I think that he actually thinks that something, like, might be going on, and that's why I say that I understand where he's coming from a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Like,
because-
regardless of whether or not he told me that he liked me or not, I think that he believes that he was saying the truth. Like,
Exactly.
you know,
No, exactly.
and he can't be faulted for that. But then it's also at the
Exactly.
same time, I was telling the truth.
Exactly.
that nothing was happening.
Exactly. So her reaction is just,
Yeah.
wow, like, oh my God. And you do not, like,
You can't tell people.
you
to
can't
not be
talk to
fri-
people like that. Yeah, like, no. Especially somebody who gave so much of their energy to you, you know, like, it's just, I don't know. She better hope that she never
Yeah.
sees me
Oh
again.
my
I swear to God.
I actually kind of get nervous about that because, like, they go out a lot.
I know.
So I'm like,
I
we
know.
very well could, like, run into them.
My mom sent me a video of the club that they frequent,
Mhm.
and she's like, have you been here? And I used to go there. I've said this before. I used to go there a lot when I was younger, and then it's changed into a different club, and they have, like, a rooftop patio, and my mom sent it to me, and I was like,
Yeah.
sent it to me like yesterday. I was like, that would be fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. Throughout this whole thing, I feel bad for Annie. Because she's,
I
like, kind
do
of in the
also
middle
feel
of
bad
it.
for
Because it's like
Annie.
we've had our own talks about, like, where she stands about certain dynamics and friendships in this friend group. And it's like, I just feel bad because I understand her, like, where her loyalties lie, but also I understand, like, where she's at because it's, like, she's, like, no doubt on my mind right now, she feels stuck probably.
Yeah, like,
And it's
realize,
like-
you know?
Yeah. And it's like, I feel bad about that. So it's like,
No, I do feel bad for Annie, too.
yeah.
If anybody wanted a spoiler, when I made that new friend list, Annie was my number one.
Yeah.
Was she my number one or my number
She
two?
was your number
She
one.
was my number
She
one.
was your number one. Yeah.
I do feel bad for her. I do
Like,
feel
she's
bad
sweet.
for
She
her.
just hates confrontation. Her
Yeah.
and Annie and Carly have never had a fight, like an actual, like, conflict argument before,
Yeah.
despite them being friends for so long. And you can tell that it's like they're very both non-confrontational. They would rather have their problems bottled up
Yeah.
than talk about it. And it's like, I think that you should talk about it, but then it's like, I don't know. By the way that they handle things, I don't know if it would ever.
Carly
like,
is her whole
productive.
identity.
Yeah.
Carly is her whole identity.
Yeah.
Not her entire identity, but 90% of her
She
identity.
is coming around to, like, realizing that, like, how codependent it is, though, and she's used the word codependent with me.
Okay, love that.
So, like, I love that she's, like, realizing things, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just feel bad.
yeah,
feel
same.
bad. You know, because, like, with me gone, she doesn't really have that outlet, and it's like, I don't know if I should reach out to her or not. Oliver, he seems fine. Like, he hasn't, like, reached out to me, but he is sending me TikToks. So I don't know. I'm still on Annie's private story.
Right.
It's just that they're probably just not talking to me out of.
Maybe Annie thinks you're mad at her.
That's what I'm scared of.
You know?
That's what I'm scared of because I'm like, should I reach out? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want her to think that she lost a friend because I'm still willing to be her friend. It's just like,
But
I know where I know where her
Exactly.
I know where her loyalties lie.
Like, regardless of if she responds privately to your message, your message that you send to her is not private.
Yeah, it's not private.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
The second that my name pops up on her phone, she's showing
Her response
Carly.
might be private.
Yeah,
But the
whatever
initial
I say is not
message, yeah.
private.
No.
in any regard. Like, and I know that.
At least not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cut a bitch off so quick. Like
I struggle.
I'm a cutter. Like, especially with like friends and stuff. Like I've said before, like I used to have a huge group of friends and I used to just want to be friends with everybody, like whatever. And then I put myself first.
Yeah, it goes like that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
No, I know. And I was kind of like, okay, like I'm okay with the people that want to be here for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's no ifs, ands, or buts with that. There's no way around it. And I think that's why also a lot of my friends are so different from each other. Like I don't have that friend group anymore where it's like like all of these people were like it doesn't fit with my life anymore, and that's okay with me. But I have like different lives with different people, which I love, right? So and then I find that like these people love me enough, these solid people, that now I'm a part of that friend group and that friend group. So like it works out. But I definitely had to teach myself to, because I'm also a retired people pleaser, you know? So it's like,
yeah, I'm still trying to get over that.
Yeah. I went through the whole thing of like, everybody should be important to me just because they're humans. And I think that's where I went wrong a little bit, because as much as you should respect everybody for being humans and like learn to coexist with people, you do not have to give everybody your energy. Mm-hmm. Not everybody deserves it, especially when like I personally have such a hard time with my energy, and I have a hard time kind of like if I give too much of my energy here, there literally is none left for this.
Yeah.
So like I have to be very careful where I put it. And being around people that I don't have to prove myself to helped me realize that I also don't have to prove myself to myself.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
Yeah,
which is something I struggled with for so fucking long. I think that's why I was people pleasing for so long. I hated myself. It was like my worth came from the validation of others. So I think it's healthy in most situations. I think that if I have to consider cutting you off, we're not aligned.
That's true, because even if you're considering it, it's like you probably already know the answer.
Exactly. It's kind of like that. Like if you have to question if you deserve better, you do.
You do, yeah.
And that's not to say that there are hard feelings.
Yeah, I don't really have hard feelings about it. Like
the hard feelings come from the falling out and what was said, but there's no like.
Yeah, like towards Carly, I don't have any like hard feelings. Like the only hard feelings I have towards anything is like the fact that she questioned that I was using her, that I'm like, that my character is like, I'm not who she said she was. And it's like, she's out here probably telling all of her friends who I also came to care about as my friends, that I'm a liar. It's like, I'm not.
That's the hardest part, right? Yeah. It's also hard to like.
And they're everywhere. It's like some of them work, like they all work at places that I frequent a lot.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like the gym and like grocery stores that I go to. So it's like the chances of running into them are really, really high.
Yeah.
And it's like for them to think that I'm a liar and
they're like club rats too.
Yeah.
So it's like we decide to go out one night, we're running into them even if it's waiting for an Uber.
Yeah, like so for me to run into them and them have like this very like tainted image of me, it just like kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because that's just not how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I have learned that is if when you get to that place where you're just kind of yourself everywhere you go, like it doesn't really, when it doesn't matter as much, like the people that see you will see you forever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if they saw you, they saw you. Mm-hmm. And if they only saw you through Carly's eyes, then that'll show. And I think that it's hard to feel like you need to defend your character. Like it's like, especially to people that you didn't have that falling out with, like it's hard to be like, oh my God, like I didn't even have any drama with that person, but they think this way of me. But like,
I think that's a little bit easier to deal with, but just the fact that it's like we were friends, and you thought you still, like, despite us being friends, you still thought I was malicious enough to do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No. If the other people saw you, they'll see you still. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's actually very comforting to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be fun when you run into them. I really, really, really think that Gym Guy saw you. And I think that he will continue to see you. I really do.
I hope so, because like we got along like really well.
Yeah.
Like we were like friends, buddies.
Okay, so moving on to our segment today, we're doing a little Q&A. That rhymed.
That's a good one.
I'm a poet and
I didn't even notice.
First question. Actually, you go first.
If everyone came with a warning label, what would yours say? Actually, let's spice it up. What would mine say? Then I'd mix it up with you.
Damn it. Yours would say fragile.
Oh, similar to one of my responses in Truth of the Drink. You're not wrong though.
I wouldn't say keep upright, but definitely fragile.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I am a little
fragile with the emoji that's like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Okay, moving on. Wait, what would mine say? Like, beware.
Okay, no, I like that.
Beware of dog, because you got your dog in you. Something like that.
So funny.
Caution.
No, that's good. That's good. That's so funny. What's a common trait shared by everyone you've dated?
There's a lot that's coming to mind. I can't really. I was gonna say avoidant, kind of mean.
Okay. I'm dead.
Not always there. Like unavailable.
Okay.
Unavailable.
Okay.
That's one there.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. I think I'm overachieving a little bit. You said one, and I gave you 3. So, what would you say?
Lost. And codependent.
Ah, yes. Lost and confused.
Yes. And you are what you attract. Let me tell you. I was also very lost and codependent.
And I could say that I am a little bit emotionally unavailable.
Okay, fair.
You know?
Love that. But use it to the thing I find is you have to embrace it and then use it to your advantage.
Oh.
At times in my life when I need someone who doesn't want anything, that's what I give out.
Okay.
You know? So I don't attract somebody that I might accidentally like, you know?
Oh my god. Life tips. What's the longest you've ever had feelings for somebody?
Oh my god. It's so funny because I was in a 3-year relationship. See, I want to say this feels the longest. The one that I'm thinking of feels the longest, and I'm gonna say 2 years. I was gonna say 3 years because I was in a 3.5-year long relationship, but I honestly think the shorter time with those feelings are stronger. Like, I don't remember when I lost my feelings.
I get what you're trying to say though.
You know, like I lost my feelings.
My answer's kind of similar
in that relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, we dated for 3.5 years, but I didn't have those feelings for her. Yeah, for that entire time. So I'm gonna say, like, heart-wrenchingly, like, oh my god, these are feelings. 2 years, which could be either of them. Really.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah,
right. So I'm gonna a solid 2 years.
I'd say a solid 1 year. I was in a relationship for 2.5 years.
Yeah,
but now she's literally said on this podcast, I don't know, she didn't even think that I liked him. I don't even think that I liked him, to be honest.
There was a time
I did. There were
yeah,
genuine feelings. I did like him, but then towards the end, it was like, I think I'm only in this because it's like
a boyfriend.
A boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think I wanted a boyfriend. I don't think I wanted to be
the relationship,
you know?
Yeah.
Which is like something I can admit now. But
I get it.
Yeah.
I go through phases still. That's where I am right now, man. Like,
yeah, I'd say a year with Danny Boy. Because I still have feelings now. Which, like, I'm kind of scared that they're never gonna, like, they're always gonna be, like, buried deep somewhere in me.
Right.
So, like, I'm kind of scared that I'm never gonna get over it.
Yeah.
Even though I want to get over it so bad. I don't know.
No, I feel that. What did you see from your childhood window?
I still live in my childhood bedroom, so like literally, like that's like.
How old were you when you moved in there?
Like 6.
Oh, I think of your childhood bedroom as the apartment, but I didn't realize you were that young.
Well, I can still think about it. It was a parking lot.
Okay, true.
It was a parking lot. It was nice. One time, I remember my dad was leaving, and then he told me to get down from the window, but I didn't understand what he was saying because he's using arm gestures. And then I was just like, "Why?" I thought he was waving bye, but he was just telling me to get away from the window because it was this big like window that took up most of the wall that overlooked like the parking lot of our apartment complex. Yeah. But if we're talking about my childhood bedroom now, just my backyard, other people's backyards.
Okay, true.
Birds.
True.
Sometimes there's a park near my house and people do like fireworks there on holidays, so then I'll get a lot of fireworks, so I don't have to leave my house to see fireworks. I can just open my window and then I got a full show.
That's true. We lived across the street from Kaira. Kind of. We
down the
walk
street.
Down the street.
Yeah.
Okay,
Down the street.
Down the street. And then across the street. But we lived in the same area. I lived in a house with like all the family and like aunts and uncles and stuff like that. Most of the family. And there's so much. We've talked about how much shit went down in that house.
That I don't even remember.
And yeah. And again, I stayed there for a little bit longer, and I was a little bit older. So I lived there until I was 8, I believe.
Really? It was that long?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I went to school up on
So
the
you
mountain
were
when I
already-
lived.
Then you lived there?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Wait, how old was I when you left then? Like 3?
I guess. Holy shit.
Were you?
Because my parents didn't get married till we were 8. We didn't move until after. So maybe 9.
You know what? I remember walking into the basement, and that's where your mom's wedding dress. That was the first time I saw your mom's wedding dress. It was in the basement of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was 8 when they got married. And then I was a new student at the high school on the mountain when I was in grade 5. So I would have been 10 when I moved schools.
Because I'm trying to think, like, did I already live in my house now when you moved?
Right.
Or no?
Maybe not.
That's crazy. I always thought I did.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I lived downtown until then, around in the same area. And my house was cool. It kind of had like
it was a nice house.
Yeah.
Like objectively speaking, it was a nice house.
Yeah, there's voices in the walls for sure. Like I could never walk back in, but it is a nice house with a huge backyard. Like it was nice.
Like it's a good backdrop for like a childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. And my bedroom overlooked like the front door, the street in front of the front door, and there was like a little thing, like you could literally climb out the window and sit on the little roof thing, which I loved. And you could see obviously the front door, and like my friends would throw rocks at the window to get my attention. I loved it. Like
That's
it was
so cute.
Right, and they would be riding their bikes, and I'd look down and they'd call me outside from my bedroom window.
That's cute.
Like,
I love that.
I loved it. And we would go outside, and my backyard too, like was, if you crossed the street from my backyard, you were at my best friend's front door.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
So I loved it, but the shit that happened in the house was crazy. And from my window, I very often saw my aunt, one of my aunts,
estranged aunt,
get brought home in a cop car and walk out of the back seat with an ice cap in her fucking hand.
Yeah.
I can't. And that is my favorite memory from my bedroom window, my childhood bedroom window.
Every time you recount it, I'm like...
Because it was multiple times. And I would often, like I said in the last episode or the episode before that, I would sit and listen to Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, you know what? I thought you were going to say that one time when she was going down the street with her open suitcase.
Well, yeah, okay, so that was from the backyard. You had to go to the backyard to see that, but then she got brought to the front window.
Interesting.
With the ice cap, yeah.
I kind of want to drive by that house just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit different now. It's less upkept. Obviously. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
If the world was ending, who's the first person you're calling?
I fucking hate that. So I was going to ask you one week, and I fucking hate that. Because there's different people for different reasons, and I really honestly don't want to offend anybody. And I don't want to embarrass myself either. It honestly depends on the day.
Really?
It depends. We talk about my different personalities and my fucking how mentally ill I am and like how different I am day to day when I wake up. So it depends on the day. I think my most solid answer would probably be Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my most consistent answer, I think.
Love that though.
Yeah. I think there are days where the answer is different and it honestly varies, but
more often than not it's Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
My mom.
But Sam is a friend that I used to be like super, super close with. I think we'll talk about it in another episode when we can like do a different viewpoint on friendships. Very, very soul tie. We actually talked about it, me and Sam, I have a really bad memory.
Recently?
Yesterday or the day before. Absolutely for sure it was yesterday or the day before.
I was going to say, because like your yesterday could have been last week.
I know, but I 110%, I just started new medication and it was yesterday or the day before. And it was yesterday. It was yesterday because I had to stay to work to transplant. She asked me to come over, but I was at work. It was yesterday. But it's very like soul tie. Like I've never believed in it before, and we have been kind of no contact for 3 years.
Yeah, there's a solid period of time.
Yeah. And there was times where like the contact, like before yesterday, we'll send each other TikToks, but we haven't spoken since before my birthday.
That's a while ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or seen each other like almost a year. So it's just, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Her boyfriend right now was scared of cutting off one of his friends because they don't really align, and he thinks that they're meant to be best friends and stuff like that. And she's like, I brought you up, and it was like, it's hard to explain. And I was like, no, it is really hard to explain, if any. And she was talking about like how like peaceful it is actually. And I was like, no, like when it's hard because you do I cut off friends where like there isn't that feeling. But and she cut me off, and I fully respect it. This is actually the girl that slept with Kai's ex. Like they started dating after, and she has a son that I was really involved with his early life, and we stopped being friends. And it was in the middle of my early 20s relationship, and I completely respect her for it. And I understand completely what she said, but there was never a time that she wasn't there for me. There was never a time I wasn't there for her. There was like never a time that we weren't thinking about each other at the same time, or like having the same memory of at the same time. Like it's very weird, and I did not believe in it before. And again, I'll cut a bitch off so quick, but there's never been a feeling like that. So I think if the world was ending, I would call her.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And me and Kai have kind of made our peace with that. Like we've had talks where it's like, for a while after that, even I didn't talk to her. I didn't cut her off, but I just didn't really talk to her because it was causing drama in my family. But it's like, above all else, through it all, like the feelings have always been the same. We've never had hard feelings, and it's weird. But if I needed help, she doesn't have a car to come help me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, emotionally, I would call Sam, but if I needed help,
that's so funny.
oh no. Let me tell you.
She's Ubering.
Yeah. Like there's no. What part of getting older scares you the most?
I was gonna say having responsibilities, but that seems like such a cop out, because it's like obviously you're gonna have responsibilities, but it's like
fair.
The fact that it's like you're really on your own.
Okay.
You know, because it's like I'm used to being shielded. I'm used to like having a fallback, but then it's also like I'm not always gonna have a fallback.
Right.
So it's like I need to be able to be good on my own.
Right.
Before looking for help. I think that's what scares me the most.
Right.
Yeah. Also, just like change in the fact that it's like my life isn't gonna be the same as it is now forever.
Yeah.
So that's scary. Change is scary.
Yeah.
But I think that's a natural, normal thing.
I was gonna say losing my youth, like losing my inner child.
Oh yeah.
But I think I've gotten pretty good at like nurturing the inner child, and I think that as I've gotten older, I realize how hard it is to get rid of my youth personally.
Oh, I love that though.
I definitely, I don't think I think younger than I am, but I think a lot of times like I'm just more youthful than the average 27-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know a lot of 27-year-olds, but you seem pretty youthful
fair.
to me, so.
Yeah, you know? So, I'm not so worried about that. I still think I'll be like the cool hip mom, regardless of how old I am, to be honest. But maybe losing people.
In what sense? Like losing people, or like people dying?
People dying.
That's scary.
You know? Kind of like, because I'm so big on the we don't live forever, and that kind of comes with death. So like, if I'm getting older, everybody else is too.
Yeah.
You know? That type of thing. That makes me feel sick a little bit.
That does make me feel sick, and it puts a lot of things into... It's kind of like a slap to the face.
Yeah.
Like with reality when I think about it, because I'm like, oh my God, like my parents aren't getting any younger.
Exactly. Like eventually I'll be the oldest.
Yeah.
Like I'll be the grandparent, I'll be the parent. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying. My life now is not going to stay the same way. Like there's going to be a point where everything I know now is just gone.
Yeah.
Which
that was
so
crazy.
Scary.
Like, we're so fucked up. Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't like that.
No, it is. It is.
But that's just how time works. That's how life works.
It is.
That happens.
My mom always says, live, let it die.
Yeah.
So that's all that we have for today. Thank you for watching and or listening.
Make sure you're following us on all of our socials at HarshWordedPod.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.